The following Let's Play has been rated for mature audiences only. Any attempts to break the game are for entertainment value only. However, if any typos happen to be found, Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game. Hey, guess what? We are going to be doing another explaining episode. This might actually become a frequent occurrence. Who knows? But the thing I want to explain today is, as the title suggests, the limitations of RPG Maker 3. Because it occurs to me that in the past couple of episodes, things might seem a little bit glitchy, and I want to explain why things seem the way they do. Let us start with this. We talk to this guy, we get a menu, and I choose an option. And then nothing happens. Then I talk to him again, and I finally see the results of that choice. So, why is it that we have to talk to a person twice in order to be doing this? Well, there's a pretty good reason. It is because when it comes to events, there is a limit of 50 lines of code. Now, in most games that's not going to amount to a whole lot. More often than not, you won't need 50 lines or so. But in this game, we not only have a selection of choices to make, where each one leads into something else, but each of these choices in itself has a bunch of different possibilities depending on who you are, whether you're male or female, what your personality is like, who you're adopted by, what quest you're on, and what profession you are. So, like this option right here, this is a really good option. Portrait. If I choose that, he's gonna say he's got an order for a portrait and he'd rather it be done by a professional. If I became the profession of an artist or a photographer, I'm not sure what it would be called, then one option would lead me to another option. And all those options add up to the point where he just couldn't have it all in one script. That 50 command limit, 50 lines of code limit, was too much of a hindrance. And that is why we have to talk to a person twice in order to find out what the selection is supposed to do. The next thing I want to talk about real quick isn't really a limitation, I just wanted to point it out. But I said that because I didn't have the key to the house, I wouldn't have been able to leave. But as it turns out, the reason this event was here, telling me, hey, talk to your dad, wasn't as a reminder of what to do and why you can't leave the house, but as it turns out, it actually overrides the door somehow. I'm not entirely sure how, but yeah, having an event active right here made it so the door could not be interacted with. A good example of this was a few episodes back when I was exploring the catacombs. Inside the catacombs, I found a breakable wall behind a pile of bones, but I couldn't get the breakable wall to, well, break. That was because the pile of bones was an event that was overriding the breakable wall, which is an interesting trick. Alright, back to limitations. If I go up to my bed, I cannot choose the bed. The event to go to sleep is somewhere. I'm probably in the middle of it, and that's why it won't work. Stupid RPG Maker 3. Here it is. Yes, I will rest here. So, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but it might need mentioning again. Whenever you're placing events around, you cannot... Well, you can generally place them wherever you want, except for static objects that are a part of the map. This bed is not optional, it actually comes with the house. So as far as RPG Maker 3 is concerned, this isn't a bed, it's a wall. And I cannot place an event inside the wall. So that's why the event to go to bed is sitting right here. And unfortunately, I cannot be all the way in the middle of it in order for it to trigger. I have to, like... It's stupid. Alright. Also, now that it's morning, my dad should be there, but as I demonstrated before, if I go into the menu, suddenly he's there. I'm not entirely sure why this is, but my guess is it has something to do with RPG Maker 3 not refreshing the map until you go into the menu, or if you tell RPG Maker 3 within the game's code in an event to refresh the map. I'm pretty sure there's an option that lets you do that. I'm not sure what option it is, and I'm not sure if it really exists, but I think there's an event command that resets the map. So you wouldn't have to go into the menu in order to see a character appear or disappear. Next on the list is the dog. Now, I've had plenty of interactions with this dog. Most of them was because I was trying to bring him with you. And now he won't budge. But the first few times I tried checking that option, nothing even happened. Why is that? Well, it once again comes down to memory limitations. You see, what's going on here is this option to bring him with me actually is asking him to join my party. But he doesn't join my party here. He joins, it's more like I recruit my dog into my party, and then when I leave town, he's going to be with me there. In fact, I'm going to show that off while I'm discussing this. Also, the fog disappeared. So, he's recruited into my party. He's not actually in my party. The reason why it was set up like that is because Obright didn't want to make it possible for you to go into, where is the formation? For you to change your active member to, say, the dog, and then flirt with people as a dog. And you know I would do that if I was given the chance. So that's why the dog doesn't actually join me until I leave town. Not entirely sure how that affects trying to equip your party members, because if your party members are only there outside of town, does that mean you'd have to buy stuff for Zoe and then transfer them? I'm not entirely sure. Eventually we're going to go out adventuring into the world and get into battles, and we'll figure out how that works then. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and see how far I have to go in order for the dog to appear in my party. It's not up here. I'm pretty sure you have to travel down to that one spot where I was told to turn back a few times early on in the game. Right about here. There we go. It says that the dog has joined me now. And there we go, Hobbs, who... Wow. Really? Huh. Why the huge HP difference? That's going to be interesting to figure out. Anyway, now that this has been done, turn back and probably what's going to happen while it's checking stuff. I can't move until it checks stuff. Okay, I guess I can check stuff. I guess I can move now. Huh. It's confusing at the moment, but I'll figure out what's going on. I was probably just sitting still longer than I needed to because I wasn't trying to move or anything. Yeah, so I go out here. Dog's no longer in my party because once you try to return to the town, you're no longer having your party members recruited. Now let's see how long it takes for me to... Alright, so that's how long it is. Anyway, so like I mentioned, the first few times I talked to the dog and tried to recruit him, it didn't say anything, and that's because of memory limitations. Apparently, Obright has so little memory that certain characters, certain party members, you don't get notified that they've been recruited. And along with that, in some instances, the game doesn't get notified that a character has been recruited. So I talked to the dog 3 times. So as far as the game is concerned, I recruited 3 party members, which is the limit, which is why the 4th time and on, when I tried to recruit my dog, the dog wouldn't budge, because as far as the game was concerned, my party was full, even though it was that same character. And it's like, you're probably wondering, did O'Bright really have so little memory left that he couldn't make it so that you can't recruit the same person more than once? Which brings me to my next thing that I want to talk about. So over here, there's a mansion, and behind the mansion is a little house. So if you recall, I wound up going through here and heading into this here building, and then it turned out that building would also be bringing me to this building in front. I wasn't supposed to be able to go back there. To my understanding, there was supposed to be a crate here, but because of memory limitations and him shuffling stuff around, he sort of forgot to put the crate back in or something, so that I couldn't get back here. I imagine what's going on is I'm supposed to access a key to this place. Let's see. Yep, I can't get in there, so I wasn't actually supposed to be able to go in the house just yet. So, just to be fair, let's go ahead and try to put the crate back. Let us go to the title screen and take a drink because my voice is cracking from dryness. Alright, and let us go into the editor. The game data is already loaded, so we don't need to worry about that. Let's go into the layout editor. And this is West Moyos. Let's see what's in West Moyos. Alright, so this is what the object placement editor is like. This is where you place objects, events, and people. People are separate than events in this game, in RPG Maker 3. So let's see. Okay, so here's the La Villa Bohemian Raspberry. So let's try to set down a crate. Create a new object? Yes. Let's put down a decorative object. Could not create new data. Please delete other data and try again. Now, let me make note here that, okay, in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, you can see some stats. You see that we have 3 out of 10 people, 20 out of 20 events, and 29 out of 30 decorative objects. If I try to place an event, it gives me a different message. Cannot place any more of these. I have reached that limit. But I have not reached the limit for decorative objects. So what's going on here is this game has used up so much of the available memory that there is not even enough memory to put down a crate. This game is, as far as I'm concerned, completely full. I know it says 99.9%, probably that remaining 1% can only hold a few bits of text, but it certainly can't hold a crate. So, yeah, all these limitations that are in place that have to do with memory is because O'Bright actually used up all of the available memory. This game is a spectacle. I have never seen a game use up all the memory before. Despite the fact that RPG Maker 3 is a memory hog. So let's see here. Let's see, 99.9%. Let me explain how much memory certain things take up. So, this town is very small. It takes up less than 0.1%. And that's because all around this lake sitting here, some of the pillars like this pillar right here, as well as the stuff outside, except for that building right there. That was placed there, I'm pretty sure. But the ground is default. You cannot change the ground. You can change certain things, like this section over here, this ground area over here. You have an option in a menu whether to have that there. And of course you can choose the time of day, the weather, the season, and of course the music. But otherwise, the ground is static. All you have control over is what you have here in the... What editor is this called again? The layout editor. And of course the weather and stuff. So it doesn't take up a lot of memory. Field editor, on the other hand, I gotta definitely show you this. So first off, there's only one field map, the only one world map. And it takes up, oh, what was it? It was 1 point something percent. 1.2, 1.7, 1.4. It was somewhere in there. But I gotta show you this. This is how you create a field map. So you actually draw the map in a 2D thing. So let's see, if I create this spiral here, or scribble, and then, what is the buttons here? There's a test option. Oh right, here we are. Reset terrain save. Oh, there it is, preview. It's been a... I don't like the field editor. Let's see, so let me choose this spot right here. And as you can see, all these squiggly lines that I drew actually appeared on the map. What bothers me about the field editor is height is handled the same way. So if I do this, we should have a mountain of some sort. Yep, we're on a big old hill. The thing I don't like about the field editor is it's all in 2D while you're editing. So this hill here, I can't tell how high it is. And what makes it more frustrating is that makes it really hard to smooth out these crooked jaggies. You have to constantly go into preview mode to check what you did is what you wanted to do. But anyway, back to the memory limitations. Exit without saving. That is a neat way to create fields, but I would have really preferred to create them more in real time. So, that takes up like 1 point something percent, and then we get to characters, people. We have like, it takes somewhere between 0.1 and 0.2%. It's not an exact amount. But this is where I have to explain another limitation of RPG Maker 3. The 100 character limit. So let us go down here to Tempest. Wait, that's not who I wanted. Who was I wanting? Oh yeah, Fristy, my mistake. So here we have Fristy. Do you recognize her? If not, I'll remind you. This is the girl we found at the Musicians Guild at the beginning of the game. She apparently has no stats. All her stuff is at 0, which means she is not going to be a party member. However, as far as RPG Maker 3 is concerned, she is a party member, which is why she has stats, as well as an inventory and a list of magic spells. Now, the list of magic spells and the inventory are empty, but that doesn't matter. The reason why there's a 100 character limit in RPG Maker 3 is because it's taking into possibility that somebody will create a game where you have 100 characters and all of them have a full inventory and a full list of spells. Even if you have situations like this where all they are supposed to be an NPC, and that is stupid. Why did they do that? Why couldn't these characters have been events? In every other RPG Maker, characters and events are the same thing. The only difference between a treasure chest and a person is the person might be moving around. Although in some cases I've seen a treasure chest move around. So, the 100 character limit is stupid, and it's because they made it so that everybody could be a party member. I imagine that had you been able to create regular NPCs who would never be a party member, you would have been able to populate your world a whole lot more. And it would have taken a lot less memory per person. Oh, by the way, a while back in A Light in the Sky, I said that you could not copy-paste stuff in the database. I was wrong. You can copy-paste stuff. You technically cannot copy-paste events. That is the one thing you technically cannot copy-paste. And that is because event scripts are tied to objects and people. However, you can actually copy the stuff within the events, within the event code. So I could go here and I can copy this if I wanted to, and then I can let's see what this is. All right, so that's what I got copied. So yeah, as it turns out, everything can be copy pasted, and that's my bad. But back to the limitations. Oh, so by the way, you can see up there 37 out of 50 commands used up. In fact, I'm kind of curious. Alright, 37, not including the line that hasn't been used yet. But with all these limitations in mind, as we play this game and see all these limits and all these glitches and stuff where a party member doesn't tell you that he's joined, or how you have to talk to a person more than once, now you know why this is going on, and it's probably going to be a lot more easy to be impressed by this game despite some of the hiccups, because now we know that a lot of the hiccups in this game are going to be because of RG Maker 3's limitations. As a reminder, this is a game where you start out with taking a personality quiz and you choose whether you're going to be a boy or a girl, and you wind up being adopted into one of several possible families, and you can become any profession you want to be and go on a bunch of quests and flirt with people and probably get married and have kids with whoever. Yeah, like I said, this game is a spectacle. And next time, we are going to continue playing this spectacle. I'll see you then.